Welcome to another episode of the Manhood Podcast. Today, I have a good friend of mine, JP. We've got a beautiful journey. We met in Bali probably a year and a half, 2 years ago now, and went into everything from fighting through to a lot of his stuntman work that he did with using fire to break through fears. And just a very extraordinary gentleman who's living life in a very different and unique way. So, I was honored to have him on today's call, and I'm just going to give him a little bit of an intro, and then we're going to drop into some deep discussion about all the work that he does and everything that he's about. So, JP is a fear coach and a professional daredevil with a mission to help people break through their fears and turn them into fuel for their growth. Drawing on his first-hand experience as a professional stuntman and wingsuit base jumper, JP teaches others how to harness their fear rather than avoid it. He is the founder and CEO of JP de Kam, a groundbreaking stuntman school where individuals face real-life challenges to transform their fear into a powerful ally. JP's unique approach empowers people to embrace courage and step boldly into their potential. So, welcome, brother. Welcome to the Manhood Podcast.
Wow, what an honor to be here. Thank you for having me. Wow.
Absolutely, bro. Absolutely. And yeah, it's nice to be dropping into the same space with you again, and this time getting to share the conversations that we normally have. These big, brown, breaking, opening conversations that we have now with an audience as well, and allowing other guys to join in on the journey. So excited for that.
Welcome everybody. I'm really excited to be here and to drop in and to see where this journey takes us.
Absolutely. So I want to hear, and just for the listeners as well, where did this all begin? In the bio, I read there about your stuntman journey and you being a wingsuit base jumper, jumping off the top of mountains. How does a man get to the point of somehow feeling comfortable in some way to jump off the top of a mountain? And
Well,
what led you to that point?
it's never completely comfortable, to be honest, but we'll
Yeah,
drop on that later.
yeah.
So I'm a PE teacher, actually, that's where I came from. And within my PE teaching school, I was already looking for boundaries, like what is possible with this body that I have? What is possible with this mind that I have? How far can I take all this? And I was not allowed in gymnastic class anymore because I was taking backflips from very high places. And people like, we can't have that here, JP. It's like, but I want to know, right? I want to know what I can do. I mean, what I'm capable of. And from that perspective, I became a PE teacher, and I was like, yeah, teaching is cool, but there's something more and something burning into my awareness that I really want to see what I can do and how far I can take this. So I started I wanted to be an astronaut when I was a young little kid, and I didn't know why until I started skydiving. Because the moment when I started skydiving, I was like, wow, this body can fly. And it's not like paragliding or something, you're pulling ropes. It's actually my body that can fly. So after like more than 1,000 skydives, I felt like, wow, we can like up, I can do more with this. So I started wingsuiting. And then from wingsuiting, I started wingsuit base jumping. And what is base jumping? Base jumping is jumping from either antennas, spans, earth, um, into human flight. And I did my first stunts there. I put two burners on the side of a cliff, and like when I hit the burn ejection button, I flew my wingsuit through it, like those kind of things. And I thought, like, well, this is only costing me money. I think I should be able to like get some money from doing this. So I was like, where can I find this more passionate people about like finding what else is possible? And then I came around this stunt team in the Netherlands, and I became a stuntman. I've been doing that for 16 years now. And with all that knowledge, I keep coming back to the teachings. So when I was like, okay, well, now I learn know this and know that, but I want to share as well because in my core, I'm a teacher. So when my students heard about the stunts, and I was like, yeah, I mean, do you want to try some? They're like, yeah, of course. And then I saw how amazing this human body is, and how these guarding systems are up, and how this fear system comes up, and how some people really like and enjoy it, and how some people really don't like and don't enjoy it. And I'm like, wow, where's this difference come from? And why do some people really like, wow, go up and like, I can't take even more and more and more. I have to go more and more. And other people go like, well, this is not for me. And seeing how far these people can go with their active fear system on, and still they are able to keep their body mind system in control. I'm like, everyone needs to learn this. So I started studying how the fear system actually worked, and now I'm coaching people where their fear system is in the way of living their full potential, and like
Mhm.
magic happens. Especially if you combine the Western like theory and the Eastern theories together, and that wow brought people into a whole new world of awareness, and instead of working against your system, working with your system, and well, that opened up
Mm.
quite a few doors of living your full potential.
Love that, brother. Love that. So much packed into that story there, and so much mastery and movement. And I love this last piece you're speaking about combining the Western theory and the Eastern theory in a way of being able to work with your fears. Did you mind speaking into that a little bit, and maybe how the Western and Eastern see fear differently, or how you approach this to combine these two wisdoms?
No, the Western people, they have, okay, I have a problem, and they go like, okay, how to solve this problem before I can get to my answer. That's
Mm.
how the Western people see it. Eastern theory, it's not about the problem, it's about the I, the me, the awareness. Like, I am not my body, I am not my mind, I'm not my emotions. And, you know, the enlightenment comes way more in the path there. And if you combine the two, it's like, okay, I have this problem. What is the me actually? And also, what is this these feelings and these emotions that I'm getting? Like most of the Western people say, they're in your way of rational thinking. While the Eastern people say rational thinking is in the way of your emotions, which is a beautiful concept. And if you really think about it, if you a lot of Western people say, where's the they're right like behind my eyes. And if you ask about an Eastern people, they say no, the eye is in my heart, and that's where I go from. That's the point where I start with, and that's a very different starting point. And if you look at the all the Westerners, if they go into the Eastern ways, if they start looking at awareness and go meditation and start looking at, oh wait a minute, what this is not me that I'm getting in. These are just all signals. And also fear is just a signal. And if you ask the random person, like, okay, what do you think about fear? They are all negative. Well, the system comes and works for you. This helps you, it protects you. And for me, I love when the system is activating, because I know in my biology, my system tries to protect me from all the stuff that the world throws at me, especially where I throw myself in, to be honest. um, but if you feel that as a signal, then it's not all over you, but you can actually look at it. And that means you get a little bit of distance between you and the signal. And in that distance, you get to have a choice. Am I going to listen to it? Am I going to look at it? What does it say? What does it need to protect me from? And in
Mm.
that little distance, in that space you just created, that's where the magic happens, because that's where, okay, but I get this signal, but I get also this signal, and this and this and this and this. My body says this, my mind says this, my thinking says this, my past says this, the future says this, and this is the person, the man that I am. I really want to like be this kind of person. So with all
Mm.
the signals, uh, the me, the actual choice maker, he is activated. Like, okay, but now I have this way of actually thinking, processing, and actually choosing the path that I want to walk, instead of it, and especially emotions, because we are, if you talk to the Dalai Lama, which I met, he says like people, especially Westerners, are emotional children, because their emotions stick on them. And they don't know, they're stressed because it's all there and I don't know how to cope with it. But if
Mm.
you see in that distance, you can see, hey, wait, it's just a signal. And now I have the choice, and I have the flexibility actually to, with all the signals that I'm getting, to make my choice and to follow the path that I'm really passionate about.
Absolutely. I love that. Yeah, it's such an interesting conversation of, depending on where we're living from, if we're living from our fear or if we're living from our joy, the decisions we're making are vastly different. And often, I suppose I work with a lot of people in this regard as well, that they don't even realize that they're making decisions from that fearful place and that they're caught up in that world of fear. They're literally living in that story of fear of whatever they're facing up against. They've got a story around it, and their body is feeling the stress response as a survival response, and they're making these choices from survival, literally living their life out of trying to protect themselves rather than thriving, which is powerful, like baseline to have the conversation about in this game of human, of like, where am I coming from? Where am I living from day to day and making my decisions from? And what if I'm coming from fear, of course, I'm seeing all of the limitations and all of the things that I'm afraid of, compared to seeing all of the opportunities that are available for me. So yeah, I love this work, bro. And what I'm really curious to delve into next is, what is your personal relationship with fear? Like this, I'll paint the picture here. You're standing on top of the mountain, you're ready to jump off to do your base jumping wingsuit. And yeah, we'll speak into that a little bit as well. So the guys actually and girls listening to this podcast actually understand what wingsuit base jumping is, because it's quite an extreme in itself. But yeah, this you're standing at the top of the cliff, ready to jump off. You got your wingsuit on. You're about to jump off and dive off down and glide along the side of a mountain face with your little sparrow suit on.
Yeah, my little squirrel suit. Yeah.
What's what's happening within your body? What's happening within your mind, and how do you work with your fear rather than let it work you over or control you?
So the first is the run up. So when my base jumps doesn't start there on that cliff, the base jumps start way earlier, because I really have to. It's such a mental process that you're going through. So the moment I hike up a mountain, mostly it's big hikes. Like last week when I was in Africa, we jumped Table Mountain and several other. It's 3 hour hike, and in that hike, I'm already. That's where my base jump starts. Even before that, because I have to pack my parachute on a certain way. Um, so the moment you go up, you know what to do. You know the line you're gonna fly. You know the points. You know how high you want to fly over the line, especially when you have. We call that proximity flying. So if you fly really close to the earth or between trees or that kind of stuff. And between two trees, we call it tree gate. So if you hit a tree gate and know that's going to be another tree gate, what kind of banking turn do I need to make? And you see that in skiers as well. If you look at skiers, they close their eyes just before they go, and they go, okay, go here and there, and then I go. And that's what we do as well. So whenever I go up, I already feel like, oh, there's something happening in my system that in the moment that I jump off, I have to control. So I go up, you get to the exit point, and I always do my awareness and my breathing exercises. And also, what I really enjoy is being human. What does it make me to be human is that I am very emotional. We are emotional creatures. We're the only creatures that can. There's no other animal that can blush. So what says it to us? We need to enjoy our emotions. So the moment I'm on top there, my heart rate goes up, and I really know what to do. I'm getting to my breathing exercises. I'm enjoying all the sensations that go through my system. And then the moment I get to that point, put my wingsuit on, everything, then I go through my line that I want to fly. Yeah, whenever I'm going to open my parachute, what is the perfect scenario? What's the worst case scenario? What I'm going to do then? Yeah. And I'm going to visualize everything, because with visualization, there's a part of your brain where also the fear lives. It's a limbic system that doesn't really see the difference between the real thing happening and the visualization. So within this visualization, I already see myself flying. I see myself going in those places. And the more I really am in that spot with my awareness, I can really prepare myself for the jump that I'm going to do. And the moment I'm ready, I feel the adrenaline through my system, and I'm really enjoying it, knowing that I need that to make my flight really nice. Because I have been base jumping for such a long time, sometimes consecutive, like 2 months of jumping, and then the fear system goes away, and then that's when like stuff started happening, which is not good. I actually need my fear system, so as I'm welcoming it, is a good friend of mine. then whenever I stand on that edge and put my toes over the cliff, yeah, looking down, and I take my breathing, put on a happy face, because that's where the cool chemicals get in as well. It's like, hey, I'm really enjoying this. Yeah, put in a moment, be in my awareness, look around. And the moment I put my body weight over my toes, I have to go. There is no place for hesitation anymore, because that's
Mm.
where things go wrong. Also in my stunt work, whenever I'm in a situation that I'm going to get a car hit or whatever, being totally on fire, you have to know, okay, this is where I want to be. This is what I need to do. So the moment you're there, you're enjoying, you're putting your weight forward, and the moment you push that little second, that's where the magic happens, because time is really subjective there. So you jump off, you start going down. The moment the suit fills up, and then you start gliding forward, flying forward. And I feel the pressure in my wings, and that's the moment where everything becomes quiet. Everything becomes serene. Does it translate? Everything becomes so like focus and action driven. I need to know what I do. I really plan my day, my week, sometimes my year. There, my longest project was 3 years of one jump. You plan that, yeah. So you know what to do, and then the moment it goes in, and all that voice in your head silence. You really have something to do. Boom, and then you fly your line. Hop, hop. Also, if something happens in that line that I already thought about, the plan B scenario and a plan C, worst case scenario. And the moment you do that, then yeah, the enjoyment that I have, the total connection to the earth, to the universe is right there, because I'm playing with forces of nature, and there's only me and nature just doing a game together. And the moment you fly and you're in this rhythm of what you need to do, and the moment you deploy a parachute, then like and the whole system goes like, yeah, I achieved what I wanted to achieve. And yeah, then I still need to like fly my parachute, obviously, and land. But the moment you're there and you're landing and you go back to the normal life, um, it's amazing. It's so fascinating. People can like understand this from scuba diving, because if you go scuba diving, you're in the normal world, you're on the surface area, and the moment when you go inside, you're in the world of the fish. And you're in a complete different world. Same with us. When I'm on the top of a cliff, I just talk around, blah, blah, blah with people. And the moment I jump off, I enter the world of the birds. And it's fascinating.
Mm. Took me on a full journey there, brother. Like the full visualization, the full. I love that. You're a good storyteller. And we're going to put all JP's links below. So click through to like some of his YouTube links and have a look at some of these jumps firsthand. He's got firsthand footage from like his head cam, or even from other people filming him filming other people doing these jumps. And it's absolutely extraordinary what humans are capable of watching this process happening. And then if you tie that together with this internal process that JP just shared us with us here, of that doesn't just happen. There's a whole level of being able to come to this emotional mastery to get to that point of being prepared for such a thing. So yeah, I love that. And yeah, so one part that I really picked up on there, dude, was the importance of the mental rehearsal. And this is something that you went through quite deeply with me. Just as a little bit of background knowledge, me and JP also did some firework together across in Bali. As part of his stuntman work, he lights himself on fire and is able to show you how to put the fire out and to also deal with your fear while there's fire on you. And rather than panicking, learning to slow ourselves down so we can make conscious decisions, which was a really powerful part. And something he introduced to us during that was this mental rehearsal, and part of preparing for the event, and this can be used in any area of our life, is to be able to actually see the positive outcome happening, the positive thing that we want to create. Because as JP spoke about before, that our mind doesn't know the difference between a real or an imagined event. And I'll just hand over to you with that, JP. Can you speak a little bit more about the mental rehearsal and the importance that it plays with being able to show up in your peak performance fundamentally?
So first, I'm going to talk about um, the comfort zone.
Mm.
So we all are actually too comfortable, honestly. And especially in these day and age, because we have 20 like tastes of butter in the supermarket, right? I mean, we're done. We already have everything. So what society wants us to be is to be more comfortable. And the moment you're in that comfort zone, yeah, then we feel well, blah, blah, blah. But also, like getting out, you have to go through a little fear zone. Yeah, to go to the learning zone. And that little fear zone, yeah, if you stay in the comfort zone, yeah, the comfort zone shrinks slowly. I've been coaching people who are already in their bed with their sheets up to their neck because everything was fearful. And that's what you get if you keep being in the too comfortable in the comfort zone. So one thing you can start doing is cold showers, for example, being in the so the moment you turn that button, you feel already there's a fear there. You know, you have to go through that fear zone to get the cold water on you.
Mm.
Um, in your mind, the more you prepare for something, because one of the biggest fears is fears of the unknown. So in the moment you prepare yourself for something, you prepare yourself for what is going to happen, you know, in reality. So the moment you go to the dentist, for example, and you have to have one of these like fairly big pain things, if you prepare mentally, the pain will be way, way less heavy because you're already prepared mentally for it. Also, so the first thing you have to do is practice your and train your awareness, because the more you can visualize, the more you can be aware of what is happening as a signal in your body, the better you'll be able to do this visualization with all the activation of the whole system. And the moment you visualize and you prepare for what is going to happen, yeah, then your body will know already what to do. So whenever I do a car hit, for example, car comes in, I did the car hit like 10, 15, 20 times in my head already the day before. The same day I did it another 5 times, but really go into it, even rolling, even on the table or something. So my body really knows what to do. Yeah. And even my mind knows what to do. The moment that car comes in, my body and my mind knows, I've already been done doing this. Well, I'll never done this. But because of this visualization system, I know my body knows what to do to the millimeter. And also, whenever you're in pain, if you visualize pain, then you will already go like, okay, but this will come in and I will expect this. So I will keep control. And the control word is a very big word here, because a lot of people, whenever there's pain or there's suffering, people or a lot of fear, people lose control. And that's the distance between you and that thing. Remember talking about like the distance, because you see everything as a signal. And that is where, yeah, the beautiful thing happens, that the you is already prepared for everything that comes, even the worst case scenario. And then you stay in control and you actually can enjoy things like pain, suffering, and fear.
Mm. Powerful. Yeah, and I've had this experience with JP during these fire exercises that he was teaching us. For example, one of them is putting a little bit of liquid. And by the way, I'm not trying this at home because it's very specific tools, which JP has reinforced to me again and again. So this isn't to trying at home, but having some lightable liquid on the hand and bringing the lighter to it. And suddenly you've got a little flame here, and him teaching how to be able to react slowly, to still have the response system within your hand, to be able to slowly close your hand down to put the fire out, rather than reacting and responding like this. And I've experienced this firsthand of this mental rehearsal, and when doing it again and again, literally your body is already ready for what you're going to step through next. And rather than you just reacting, you can have a really conscious response to it. And of course, these tools translate directly to life with when we want to show up in our peak performance each day, and certain new sort of fearful things that we might be coming up against, whether it's us standing on stage to give a presentation, might be us going for a job interview. It could be anything like that, or even us facing a fear that we might have in our life of animals or something like this. So yeah, really powerful to feel that at work and literally know that we can rehearse this and make ourselves more powerful in those moments to bring it through. Yeah, really, really powerful stuff.
So, but whatever people are fearful about, like think about it yourself, like for the listeners, what am I fearful about? And I want to step into that fear. Like, and how do you step into that fear? Just to go and to want to know, okay, what does fear feel in my system? How does it feel? What does it activate? Do I get like tingly fingers? Do I get a bump in the chest? Do I get, because if you do that, you are acknowledging fear, you are welcoming it, and you are in peace with it. And those three, then something magic happens, because fear loves us pushing it away. Yeah, us not wanting it. It's because then it sticks to you and it's bigger, and you will not get through. Fear loves that. If you invite fear, fear doesn't like that, you know. And then fear becomes something you can actually, wow, okay. I've been training people of vertigo, right? And being on something very high and just stand there and just feel what this system is about. Yeah.
Mm.
And taking one step further to the edge, and then still feel what this system is doing. So like, wow, look at the energy going through my system. That is amazing. So let's feel, can I put the volume up? Please get it up. And then people feel like, oh, but now the volume is not getting up, it's actually getting down because I'm welcoming it. So the moment you step a little bit further on that edge, like, whoa, okay, now it goes up. And you will see that you're enjoying this fearful system, whatever it is. If it's vertigo, if it's social meetings, it's whatever. They just go towards it and enjoy, and go into like welcoming it, because you will see something magical happen there.
Mm. Yes, this relationship with emotion is so important, hey? For, yeah, depending on how we've trained our body to relate to fear, it could be something that paralyzes us, or you're even speaking to here of how it can actually be an enjoyable sensation in your body of like, oh, yep, I'm alive, I'm still human. And also almost like a gratitude of what I was picking up from you were speaking about before, gratitude for the fear because it's going to keep you safe. Like I'm glad I've got the fear you were saying because I need this. And yeah, you've spoken. Did you want to share maybe your story about when you didn't have fear in your body a few times on a few of your jumps, and what the outcome was?
Yeah. So whenever you do something more and more and more and more, your fear system will get used to it, especially when the good outcomes. So you write the code, this is safe. And sometimes if you do unsafe things more and more and more, you write the code, this is safe, which is for your fear system a response of not activating so much. So I'm showing you my hands right now for the people who don't have a video, but you'll see one. My right hand is all nice. My left hand, the fingers are crooked and over each other. And that is because I was base jumping for a long time, back to back, and my fear system was off. Back then, I still had a big ego. And whenever I was base jumping, there was a paragliding pilot with a tandem. So two people under paraglider. And I was on a higher point and I was doing a flyby. So with a wingsuit, I jump off and I fly right close to the paragliding pilot. So I felt it and I felt like, wow, I feel happy. Woohoo, here we go. And instead of activating my fear system was off. So I jump off, I open my wings, I fly, I go real close, too close. So I hit with my left hand the paragliding pilot, actually a tandem, on the foot. I was just too close. I misjudged the forward speed of the tandem. So I felt the smack on the hand and I kept flying. It's like, oh, this is not good. Luckily I know a lot about the fear system and also about the pain system, so there was no pain. I opened my parachute. Luckily, I do that with my right hand. Otherwise, I don't know if we would have this conversation if my right hand was destroyed as my left hand. So I automatically grab my toggle, so my steering system of the parachute. I pull it down, and my parachute starts turning. So I'm looking up, and I see I didn't pull my left toggle because my hand was all shattered. And I'm like, ooh, that's not okay. So I grab my other toggle with my one hand and I go towards the beach and I land on the beach with two hands. And I know the moment that I land, my system knows I'm safe. So now what is the next best thing? My pain comes in. And I really enjoyed this moment, not because of this was all very bad, but the moment I landed, I knew that, okay, pain is only becomes suffering if you do not accept the pain. So I land my parachute. Yeah. I take off my rig, take off my wingsuit, and the pain is like really bad. I feel like, okay, I need to take care of this. And it was a beautiful moment, because on the right side, it was the gondola towards the hospital. But on the left side, this paragliding tandem was landing. And if my hand looked like this, I'd hit something. I didn't know what it was. So I didn't know how it was with these people. So I looked at my hand and I saw my pain as a signal of my body. I'm not identified it with pain. So I said, pain, thank you. I know you want to take care of my hand. Thank you for keeping me safe. I'm going to take care of you, and I'm totally going to accept your presence. But I need to do something first. So I need to go to the tendon. But thank you. And the moment I walk there, this pain becomes less and less.
Mm.
And I really, her foot was all like bad as well. So I picked her up with the other arm and I took her to one of the vehicles that was there to take us to the gondola. And I could do that with this, like, hand was all shattered, because I totally accepted the pain and I got the message and I really got my awareness into, hey, thank you. And I totally, so I didn't suffer until the moment I was in the hospital and I had to call my insurance company whether they could give me the painkillers. So then I didn't accept the pain anymore. And then the pain was excruciating. Yeah, that taught me that, okay, everything, even the most dangerous sport in the world, can become, if you can write the code, this is safe, because you're doing it over and over again and some things become safe. So after that, I didn't base jump in a short space of time anymore like that much, because I didn't want to write the code, this is safe, because I need my fear. My fear is my friend, and I need that to survive and keep me safe.
Beautiful. Yeah. And it's like having this beautiful relationship with your fear. What I'm hearing from you is that you can still do the things that you love, but also that fear plays a really important part. So still having it there, but in the correct measures, having it there enough to give us the warning signals and going, hey, JP, you may not want to do that again. But also that it doesn't stop you from living your life fully. So it's not about getting rid of fear completely, but having it there in correct proportions and with a healthy relationship with it. Um,
Yep.
yeah.
A lot of fear, the people, like, where fear is connected, they get to the reptile part of your brain, and the reptile part of the brain you have no control over. So if the fear activates that, yeah, then you see that in scare people videos, right? People do stuff that they have no idea that they're doing. That's their reptile system. The moment you put with your frontal lobe your awareness of your fear into your limbic system, then you become, you can get control, and then you become the boss of it. Not the boss, but you can, like, really become friends with it.
Mm. Do you want to speak to that a little bit more about you talked about taking the frontal lobe and putting the awareness of the fear into the limbic system? What would that like? How would you be able to train that if somebody wanted to become better and better at not being so responsive?
So every signal which comes in via all our sensors, will go through all the systems. First, it will go to the reptile brain, which is in the back of your head. Then it goes to the limbic system, and then it'll go to your frontal lobe. And your frontal lobe is the human system, right? So that's where we think with. The limbic system where we feel with, and the reptile system is where we respond with. And that responsive system, if you only activate on that, that's the whole day is like, there's a danger coming somewhere there's a danger, look around, there's that's what this system does. So if you feel that your life is really thrilling and that, you're activating that limbic or that reptile system constantly. Now a lot of people try to think their fear away.
Mm.
You see, it's two different systems. It's trying to play with your air conditioning to start your car. You can touch every button you can on the air conditioning, on the dashboard, whatever, put the radio in there. It doesn't start the car. So the moment you try to think your way into the limbic system, impossible. You can't think your fear away. What you can do is visualize, because that's the same system you're working with. So really, that's why, I know you love that too. Is the working on your awareness. The awareness is turning inside, you know and that turning inside, you can't do that with your brain only. It's the mind system and the heart system. So if you visualize yourself being on a nice beach, super relaxed, sun in your face, some beautiful men or women around you, that it literally calms your system down.
Mm.
We did tests with that, and you can do that at home with your wife or with your whatever is around you. Like put your two fingers, your thumb and your index finger together, and press them real hard, and ask someone to pull them out, to pull them away from each other. If you do that and you first visualize that you're super relaxed and you're super strong and you feel well, and people have a really hard time pulling them out. But if you put yourself in a stressful situation mentally, like visually, so you go on a rainy day, shit job, don't have food, that, and you put that in there, it's very easy to pull those fingers out of each other. And that is because you put your visualization, you train your limbic system to become really quiet and strong.
Mm. Mm. I love that. Yeah, so like being able to prime and prep your body, your emotions to be working at their peak for the task that you want to do. Yeah, like using it as an input. And I love when we speak about this work because it's two different ways of like moving through life, of not really being aware of our body mind system and how this all functions and how we actually have control over it, and just thinking that I'm stuck with the mind and body that I was born with, and it's always going to be this way, almost like in victim to whatever's happening, whatever we've had programmed into our body or we've experienced in the past. But what JP is continuing to speak to, and the world that I love as well, is realizing actually that we have these tools of the mind, the body, the limbic system. And as we educate ourselves more about them and we learn how to use them artfully, we can actually increase our capacity to change the way that we're responding to particular situations, that we can be in the driver's seat more and more in more extreme conditions, and even in those moments where we want to relax and we want to be able to really take in the moment, and we're like with loved ones, maybe we're sitting on the couch and we just want to relax with the people that we love. A lot of people have trouble just being able to drop in and slow down, but also these abilities to be able to slow that down so we can be truly present, like truly alive, truly in the moment with those people that we love. Also, this opens up the ability for this through being able to give ourselves those correct inputs. So powerful to know those tools and to realize that we've got a choice, and this is a way of us being able to educate ourselves and train ourselves to be a more powerful and effective human. Uh, and it sort of like blows my mind to think that we can spend so much time on learning how to program computers. Like these days, there's ways of like being able to even program your car. Everything's like smartphones, smart rings. Everything's like programmable, and we learn the skill sets to learn how to do these things. But how many people know how to use this body, the original program, which has the most control, because whatever system we're running in here controls all of our outputs, all the ways that we see life, all the ways we see ourselves and other people, and what we allow ourselves to do, and what we don't allow ourselves to do. And we can end up living a really limited life, being adverse from risk and being avoiding risk our whole life. But if we can learn how to train this body mind system to be able to see the potential, it allows us to keep edging and stretching that barrier out further and further, that we feel more and more comfortable until the level, what JP is speaking about, being able to literally enjoy being in the jumping off a cliff, or being on fire, and finding some joy in that as well, and excitement. So yeah, such powerful opportunities open up when we learn this internal self-mastery.
It's beautiful, huh? The way, if you start understanding this stuff, and if you really start listening to your body and really start like just accepting all the emotions, accepting all the signals, yeah, not feeling like, oh, I shouldn't be feeling this, shouldn't be feeling that. You're human. You're made to feel everything. Enjoy feeling everything then. Yeah. But oh, we only love joy, and I hate being jealous and hate being, it is, I always say I'm bold, I have blue eyes, and I'm fearful. It's all sick, it's all facts. So why would I suppress or put away one of the emotions? It is a signal from your body that tells you things. It's like not accepting that I'm bold or blue eye. It's so hard to do. So if you accept that, that's also where self-love grows and starts. by accepting all the signals that come up, not pushing them away. Yeah, because we are human, so we are flawed. We make mistakes. We do, we feel all these things that maybe is not the most beautiful thing. The moment you accept that, every time you accept, hey, there's this, hey, there's that, and you can name it, that's the second stage, obviously. But if you moment you accept that, you say to your system every single time, it is okay. And that's where a lot of self-love starts.
Mm. And yeah, just to add from that, this self-love, what you're speaking about here, and what I know in my own body from my journey with being able to come into the acceptance of my emotions, is when we are in loving acceptance of whatever's happening within ourselves, and we learn to have a positive relationship with this internal world that's happening with thoughts and emotions, then literally we can start to feel at home within ourselves. And
Mm.
what I mean by that is, so that special place in the world that you have, it might be at your parents' place, it might be there in bed with your girlfriend or your boyfriend, whatever it is for you, where you feel most at home and you feel most safe and you feel most relaxed. Imagine carrying that around you all the time, and home is within your body. So it doesn't matter if you're over in Africa, like JP recently was, or over in LA here and exploring a new city, or you're looking at doing something that's a little bit more risky, or pushing yourself, but you can literally bring yourself back to this home within your own body, that you carry that wherever you are, and you can operate from that baseline of safety no matter what you're facing. That's the power of this work. So yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Thank
been
you.
epic speaking with you,
Yeah.
man. And there's so many different portals we can go to here, but also just mindful of the time, and we can organize more interviews moving forward. But the last question I have for you is, I know you do a lot of this work supporting people on a day-to-day basis with this, with your schools. You've got a stuntman school where people can come and face their fears and they learn this firsthand. And for our listeners, what are some sort of take homes that they could start applying for themselves that you, I know you've already taught these through in the beginning of our session together, but yeah, just
Mm.
some sort of like bullet points for some of the things they might be able to take, like a couple, one or two, to face
Uh,
their fear and to really keep moving towards their greatness.
Fear is just a signal of your body. The more clear you can see it, you can feel it, the more you can investigate it, the more you can get in peace with it. And it runs from your reptile system into your limbic system. So that's where the control is. So please invite it and do this on purposely on a day-to-day basis. Do one thing that that fears you, that you fear, and just go in there and just like see and investigate what comes up. What is the signals that this body mind system gives me? And if you do that, I will promise you, yeah, your relation with fear will change. So, and ask you yourself, whenever you do this, ask yourself this one question: what does my system try to protect me from? If you have that's the answer to that, then thank your system for doing that, because it works for you all day long.
Powerful. Love it, man. Thank you again. Thanks for being here and sharing your wisdom. And if you want to hear more from JP and his epic work, comment in the comments below. We can get him on again. And if there's something else you want to know from him, he's a wealth of knowledge and he can take it in many different directions. And you want us to unpack another topic together, definitely let us know. And in the meantime, if the listeners want to get more in contact with you and see more of your work, where's the best place for them to connect with you, brother?
All the socials, JP de Kam, we'll put them in the under here. And on YouTube, I like sometimes put some things, but mostly the socials are a thing that I'm pretty active on.
Amazing. And for the base jumping side of things as well, that's the YouTube channel too, is it? Because I'm sure there's people that are going to watch this and go like, I need to
Well,
see this for myself.
also mostly the socials are where I put all my daily adventures as well. And yeah, so like connect with me there and ask your questions. And especially Greg, thank you so much for doing this, for all the listeners and for the viewers, because the work you do is really, really, really epic. I've been working for you for a while. You're an inspiration for me, and to see how well you do with all like sharing your knowledge, making the world a more awesome place. So thank you for doing this, and thank you for getting me on the show.
Absolutely, brother. Appreciate it. Big love, man. We'll speak again soon. Thank you, listeners. This has been another episode of the Manhood Podcast. See you in the next one.